Girlfriends, friends, wives, we travel with people all the time. Do those people always carry guns? Does your wife carry a gun?
She does now.
She does now?
No.
Absolutely not, right?
No. Sometimes.
Sometimes? My girl does, but she keeps it in her purse, so I'm going to get to mine faster. And I'm obviously more situational aware, usually, because I've been doing this for a lot longer. I recognize things she doesn't. I'm pretty good at spotting CCWs. She's like, I didn't even see that. But once she looks at it, she realizes it. Do people get mugged while they're traveling in pairs? A couple. Absolutely. Because as a criminal, I might identify the fact that his primary concern is going to be protecting his wife, girlfriend, loved one, son, whatever, daughter. My threat to their kid or their wife is going to compel him, possibly, to not put up a fight. So they rely on situations like that, basically to get your compliance. So if I have a loved one and I have to get my weapon into play, do I necessarily have time to tell them exactly what I see? Not responding to a spontaneous threat, right? So me and Stefan are buds. Stefan is anti-gun. He hates them, doesn't want to touch them, but we're still friends. I've taken personal responsibility for my own life, so I carry a firearm. If you guys would, because I'm going to present. Me and Stefan are walking together, but since we're buddies, we're not holding hands. And I see a threat. My concern for him is to get him to safety. So is this a situation where I might have to draw my weapon and use my weapon with one hand? If I've got to get him out of the way. I have a weapon. I'm willing to use it. I need to protect us because there's two of us in this situation. This hand needs to be used to tell him to stop doing what he's doing or to move in any way that he can, or at least get out of the way, where I'm just going to, instead of talking to him, I'm just going to physically push him out of the way. Now, once I've moved him, I can use my hand on my gun, right? Unless he starts acting crazy. Which, do people sometimes do things that we just don't understand? Yeah. So say I'm walking a step behind him and I see a threat. How would you react, honestly, if you can think of it, if we're walking along and I just do this? Would you? Yeah, possibly you're going to grab my arm, right? So now I'm like, I need that, but I don't have it. So we're walking along and I'm just like, okay. Now, as a full-grown adult, is a full-grown adult going to act differently than a child? Give me a little height. Little kid, right? Obviously, with a child, I have more concerns because I can't rely on them to recognize, after I've gotten their attention by moving them, to recognize what's going on. They may not have absolutely no concept of it. 3, 4, 5 years old, they don't know what's going on. And with a child, if you would one more time, so we're walking, we're holding hands, it's no homo.
Not that there's anything wrong.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I might pull the child behind me and keep them there with my hand because I don't want to let them go. So these are situations where realistically you might have to defend a third party, and you can only do it with your primary hand. Thinking of things realistically, since I'm primarily left-handed, is it wise for me to be on the left when we're walking around?
No.
Much harder to protect them in a spontaneous threat with them on this side of my body, because I have to move him, and then hopefully he doesn't do anything weird or crazy or unexpected, and then I have to access my weapon. Now, advantage to this would be, yeah, now I can get both hands on it, hopefully. But I'm at a serious disadvantage with them on this side of my body. So, for me, I like to be over here. I can pull them behind me, or, depending on the situation, 3D World, I can push them into something to get them out of the way. Push them behind a corner, push them behind a door, what have you. And that gives me the chance to get them out of the threat's line of sight, or at least behind me to where I can protect them and present and fire immediately. Am I going to wait until, okay, he's good, and then draw my gun? No. So can my first couple shots, or all of the shots I take, be with one hand? Absolutely. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set you up with a partner. We're going to work through this at slow speed, and then we're going to go through it at realistic speed. So everybody partner up. Threat! Threat! Nice! Threat! Move! Nice. All right, move!